How the heck are you? This just in, breaking news. In this episode, we explore a range of critical global events impacting economics, environmental science, and disaster preparedness. From port strikes creating chaos and logistics to the devastating impact of Hurricane Helene. We highlight key issues that require immediate attention. FEMA's funding concerns amid hurricane season, NOAA's snow crab collapse study, and the latest on Aurora Borealis viewing are discussed. Additionally, we delve into the financial risks posed by the U.S. debt weaponization, along with innovations in microscopic engineering. I'm Rex Bear, Leak Project. I hope your day is going fantastic. Let's just jump right in real quick. Tonight, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, the free webinar with Jay, Matta, and myself. If you would like to attend, make sure to send me a text and I will send you the Zoom link. I just need your email or your number. 970-616-5677 is where you'll text me. Put webinar in there. We'll get you on the invite list. This is a really cool opportunity because Jay is an extremely successful businessman. And I'm just going to give you a sneak peek of what we're going to cover in tonight's webinar. So how to easily tap into trending home businesses, start generating income fast, create a marketing vehicle that attracts ready-to-buy customers directly to you, proven strategies to scale your business quickly and sustainably without burnout, how to leverage the latest digital tools to automate and multiply your income streams, as well as insider tips on building a lasting recession-proof income model that works for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'll see you at 6 p.m. and let's get back to the podcast. Thanks for watching. You're awesome. The first article that I wanted to share with you is from CNBC. Chaos is building for shippers as the U.S. port strike continues and costs rise. Give you the cliff notes here. As the East and Gulf Coast ports strike hits day 3 on Thursday, there are multiple signs of supply chain stress building. Thousands of shipping containers were potentially dumped at the wrong ports as ocean carriers scrambled to find alternative options for cargo. And increased tracking of diverted vessels is a direct challenge to the ILA union threat to stop unloading at other ports. Also, surcharges are imposed by shipping giants are starting to mount, and the need to use inland transportation options like trucking and rail for diverted cargo are adding to the costs. A major grocery store chain CEO tells CNBC that while it is well stocked for weeks to come, some go-to items will not be available and prices on items like bananas will rise significantly. Well, you know what? I think this whole strike is bananas. I get how the fear of automation and the union are creating this archetype of fear. And longshoremen, you work hard. I appreciate your service and you get paid well for what you do. So this is a horrible time, in my opinion, for a strike to happen, especially with all the political nonsense and everything else that's going on around the world. Let's be prepared, not scared, and let's be the change we want to see by helping others. Now, I'll just give you another quick excerpt from this article. As the East and Gulf Coast port strike hits its third day today, the nationwide logistics system is beginning to show signs of stress. Thousands of containers have been dumped at the wrong ports, billions of dollars in trade at anchors on ships, ocean carrier surcharges for shipping clients are beginning to mount, and the need to use trucking and rail to move diverted cargo to the final destination is adding to supply chain costs. In the mad dash to unload as many containers as possible for clients, ocean carriers move containers off at alternative ports. But according to Vision, which tracks container movements, roughly 2,000 shipping containers or 2,000 shipments may have been dropped at a port that was not their intended destination. Wow. And that's bad. And you know what's far worse than that? Hurricane Helene and the aftermath of Hurricane Helene. If you were affected by this hurricane or if you have family and friends that were affected, wow, may the force be with you. This is no joke. Initial estimates, listen to this, guest insured losses could reach $3 to $6 billion. And this is according to Renaissance broker Gallagher Re, with AM Best estimating more than $5 billion. Later estimates by Moody's Analytics estimated that the damage could reach $20 to $34 billion. Well, that's nothing to what AccuWeather estimates. The estimated damage, according to AccuWeather, economic loss could cost anywhere from $145 to $160 billion. 4 million people have lost power, and this is according to the Omaha Public Power District. Agricultural damages are estimated at $7 billion. Wow. Absolutely horrific. And listen to this. This is ABC News. Mayorkas warns FEMA doesn't have enough funding to last through hurricane season. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas says the agency tasked with helping communities recover from Hurricane Helene and other natural disasters do not have enough money to make it through the hurricane season. Well, gee, it doesn't surprise me. Look at where all the money's going. And then when something happens here, oh, you get pennies if you get anything. No, they have more important things to spend their money on because look at what they're spending their money on. But we don't need to get into that here, do we? I think you already know the answers to that. The Federal Emergency Management Agency can meet immediate needs, but does not have enough funding to make it through the hurricane season. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas told reporters on Wednesday. The agency is being stretched as it works with states to assess damage from Hurricane Helene and delivers mills, water, generators, and other critical supplies. The storm struck Florida last week, then plowed through several states in the southeast, flooding towns and killing more than 160 people. I think the toll is over 200 now. We are meeting the immediate needs with the money that we have. We're expecting another hurricane hitting. Mayorkas said FEMA does not have the funds to make it through the season. Hurricane season runs June 1st to November 30th, but most hurricanes typically occur in September and October. So the new hurricane that is brewing right now, Kirk, storm tracker, Kirk may become major hurricane as other systems brew. You can go to the Asheville Citizen Times. Next hurricane after Helene, could Kirk, Leslie impact Asheville, Western North Carolina? As cleanup from Tropical Storm Helene continues across the southeast, 3 more systems are brewing in the Atlantic. But as of Thursday, Western North Carolina residents don't need to worry about another hurricane coming through at this time. The National Hurricane Center is tracking 3 storm systems: Hurricane Kirk, which is currently over open ocean in the Atlantic, Tropical Storm Leslie, which is following behind Kirk in the Atlantic Ocean, and a potential system of low pressure in the Caribbean that's moving into the Gulf. See it right here? This is the 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook from NOAA. Lots on the horizon, folks. Be prepared, not scared. Next article. The Aurora Borealis, the view line for the Aurora for tonight and tomorrow night could be all the way south as far as Nebraska. Here's the graph from NOAA. That's pretty powerful. This is a prediction of the intensity and location of the Aurora Borealis tonight and tomorrow night over North America. It also shows a view line that represents the southernmost locations from which you can see the aurora on the northern horizon. This product is based on the Ovation model and uses the maximum forecast geomagnetic activity KP between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. U.S. Central Time. The images are updated continuously. Space weather and GPS systems will be impacted, electric power transmission and HF radio communications. Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Next article, snow crab collapse due to ecological shift in the Bering Sea. Arctic conditions that dominated in the pre-industrial Bering Sea are expected to continue to decline over the next 1 to 2 decades. Fisheries scientists attribute the abrupt collapse of snow crab in Alaska to borealization, or an ecological shift from Arctic to subarctic conditions in the southeastern Bering Sea due to human-caused climate change. Once again, they don't tell you anything about the sun. It's all your fault. Meanwhile, billionaires spend exuberant amounts of money and enormous amounts of pollution flying all over the world, giving speeches about how the world needs equality and how they need to do something about climate change because of human-induced climate change. Like, really? And the sad part is most people don't see, whatever. Cold adapted species like snow crab are well suited for Arctic conditions. However, when borealization occurs, the ecosystem shifts to subarctic conditions that are less conducive to snow crab survival. Instead, they favor warm adapted species and temperate marine ecosystems. Now, what is particularly noteworthy is these boreal conditions associated with the snow crab collapse are more than 200 times likely to occur in the present climate than in pre-industrial era, said Mike Litso, lead author and director of the Alaska Fisheries Science Center's Kodiak Lab. Even more concerning is the Arctic conditions conducive for snow crabs to retain their dominant role in the southeastern Bering Sea are expected to continue to decline in the future. With further warming expected in the next 10 to 20 years, results indicate that the Arctic subcharacteristics or the Arctic characteristics necessary for the snow crab stock may become scarce in the southeastern Bering Sea. Litso and his team expect to see Arctic conditions in only 8% of future years in the southeastern Bering Sea. This percentage could decrease with higher warming rates expected in the future. If this occurs, it could potentially signal the northward displacement of the important commercial fishery from its traditional grounds. A closer look at what's happening to southeastern Bering Sea snow crabs, ice-associated primary production, algae blooms that occur under the sea ice with high export to the seafloor communities, cold summer bottom temperatures produced during ice formation, Arctic communities that are dominated by bottom-dwelling invertebrates, which include snow crabs. Listen to this. In 2018 to 2019, the snow crab population experienced a decline of greater than 90%. Wow. Previously, snow crabs supported one of the most valuable commercial fisheries in the Arctic. The annual ex-vessel value for the fishery was estimated to be $227 million. To measure the progression of borealization on snow crab abundance, scientists analyzed changes from between 1972 and 2022. Ice cover, bottom temperature, primary production dynamics, community composition for phytoplankton, zooplankton, and groundfish. They found a decline in sea ice and an increase in bitter crab disease and snow crab, areas of spring open water algae blooms, Pacific cod abundance, which is a snow crab predator, and summer bottom temperatures. These are all indications of a shift from an Arctic to a subarctic regime. Scientists ruled out trawl fisheries bycatch to explain the mortality associated with the collapse because the estimated bycatch is orders of magnitude too small to explain this level of mortality. 80 to 90% in just a matter of a couple years. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Newsweek, Swiss glaciers recede by more than 10% in 2 years. Switzerland's glaciers have shrunk by more than 10% in just 2 years, according to new data, making a significant acceleration in ice loss due to climate change. Experts at the Swiss Academy of Sciences reported on Tuesday that the country's glaciers lost an additional 2.5% of their volume this summer. Despite an extremely favorable winter with 30% more snowfall than usual, the glaciers could not escape the impact of soaring summer temperatures. But that's okay, because if you go to Eco News, this is Eco News, first ever success in creating life from nothing. Microscopic beings with a science fiction technique. Synthetic biology and bioengineering, the powerful combination changes the future of life creation. The revolutionary experiment stems from synthetic biology, a discipline combining biology, chemistry, and engineering to reconstruct living organisms. For billions of years, nature has been solely responsible for life. Still today, synthetic biologists are pushing the boundaries of what's possible by attempting to mimic natural processes in a controlled bioreactor environment. By recombining genetic elements, scientists can construct entirely new organisms that exhibit features not found in nature. These organisms, developed through advanced biofabrication techniques, are assembled from the basic building blocks of life. The newly engineered cells can replicate and carry out metabolic activities by employing precise chemical processes. This level of sophistication far surpasses previous attempts, which primarily focused on modifying existing organisms. Wow. Future is going to be pretty wild, folks. Pretty wild. So, folks, I want to thank you so much for watching. Check us out over on Patreon, where we have exclusive videos, uncensored, unedited, full format, long format interviews, as well as leakproject.com. Please share the videos, hit the bell, hit the thumbs up, leave your comment in the comment section because I want to hear what you have to say. Be excellent to each other and be the change you want to see.